Hello everyone, Relgan here with yet another GM level CVT, where I'm going to show you some more tricks with the Ling Baneling drop into a Hydra Lurker follow-up. So this is another GM level Terran, and this game was played as a custom game when we kind of practiced a little bit. The opener you see from me is the pool, and then followed up by a gas and then a hatchery. The reason why I get the gas before the hatchery is that the gas only costs me 25 minerals and I have the drone anyways, and this way I can fill up the gas faster, but I still put the drones in one by one into the gas. On the Terran side we see a standard Reaper opener, probably into Marine, so nothing out of the ordinary. The next thing I do is I get a super fast third hatchery before I even get my first overlord. So I'm going to be supply blocked a little bit, but that's okay for me. I then get my link speed and I do not stop mining gas. Now at this point I also made 2 circlings to scout, and I see a reactor on the barracks. That's pretty standard. With my queen at home I'm trying to zone out the Reaper, because zoning out the Reaper is really important in the early parts of this matchup, so that he cannot scout if I go for a Roach Warren, especially if he already knows that I might do a build like the 3 Roach opener. Then on his side we see a standard Starport Factory follow-up, probably with a Widow Mine drop, and what I'm doing is I'm getting the Overlord speed. Now around 3:45, as I mentioned in my other videos, I'm getting a Baning Nest and an Evolution Chamber, and I prepare my links for the drops. That means I'm building some links. Presumably I'm gonna drop 8 links over here and 4 Banelings over here. I see this Medivac, so I immediately build even more links to defend at home. And of course I'm also using my queens for defense. Now that I defended the drop, it's time for me to load up my Banelings, load up my Zerglings, and the links get dropped over here, the Banelings get dropped over here. Of course, the drop is doing some kind of damage, but it's not too much. Now, he immediately saw my drop, so I had to react and pull away. I made a lot more Zerglings, I'm not sure why, that was definitely a mistake. Over here we see the Liberator, but I already made a Spore Crawler, so that's no problem. I then dropped my Zerglings, but they did no damage, and here I'm following the SCVs and managed to kill a couple. If we look at the workers killed count, I killed 2, he killed 10. So he's definitely in a better position at the moment. I did deny some mining in them, still I had supply wise, but that's mostly because I made a lot of Zerglings that don't really do anything. I followed it up with a standard melee and carapace upgrade, and now I'm droning heavily. With my... I wanted to drop some more, but he had a Viking and he scouted it. He's now following it up with more barracks. Yes, he has a 3rd CC and he's also expanded now. If you look at the income tab, he's slightly ahead, or more than slightly ahead, definitely because he has mules as well. Now I'm still droning at home, I'm getting this space. I have a really nice creep spread, because the time that I delay his build and my build I can still spread creep. So my creep spread is better than it would usually be in a similar position. Oh, it's going to drop me, but that's all good. I kind of want to scout a little bit with my links. I see more barracks, so I think it's going to be a heavy 3-base push. Yeah, I had some lag, so I had to pause quickly. Now at home I'm getting my Hydralisk then. Now this is a divergence from the standard play. I'm getting Baneling speed and I'm getting the Hydralisk then. I then defend the drop, of course, with Banelings, and my Hydras do a really good job against Medivacs. So at this point, to quickly explain you the difference of Hydralisk versus Mutalisk. So with Mutalisk you have this mobile unit that is not really good at fighting, but make sure that your opponent has to have some anti-air in the battle, else you cannot win. With Hydralisks you don't have that luxury of chasing drops down over here, but you have a lot more firepower in the battle, and they also cost less gas. So that's kind of the strength of the Hydralisk. Now I built spores at every base to kill his drops. Over here we see some Viking play. I'm still spreading creep. I'm almost on the other side of the map by minute 10. Because this is where he has to walk through if he wants to get to my side of the map. I built a macro hatchery. I still have some drones there that I don't need at the moment. And this is where another important part of my build comes into play. It's the mass queen style. So in order to deal with attacks like this, I'm going to use a lot of queens. Not sure if I'm going to fend off the attack right here or if it's later. Looking at the production tab, I'm now getting a lurker den and a spire, and I'm also getting the missile upgrades for my Hydralisks. The lurker then will be used to morph lurkers, of course, and I built the spire to get corruptors to deal with liberators and a lot of medivacs. They just kind of do steady DPS, so that's why I like the corruptors. So I have some overlords here ready to drop, but I'm not really using them. He was attacking me over here with a drop, but didn't pay attention, so I quickly cleaned it up. Now he can get in position over here, but this is where the strength of the queens come into play. Now queens tank a lot of shots, and my queens are usually kind of at the front of my army. So by sending in the queens first, my other units survive a lot longer, and we're going to see that exactly in this fight. Now I'm splitting my queens, some around the bottom, some around the top. You see tank shots go on the queens, but the queens simply do not die. Now all my units are in position and are ready to fight, and he still has to micro his marines, or else they die to banelings. The medivacs die, the tanks died, and everything simply evaporated to the insane DPS of the Hydralisks while the queens were tanking all the damage. The queens and the zerglings. So that's kind of the mid-game goal. The mid-game goal is to have these queens tank the damage, while the Hydralisks dish out the damage, and the banelings make sure he has to micro his units else they explode. Now at home I'm feeling pretty safe. I'm getting my infestation pit and I'm going for hive tech. This is a lot later than the standard zerg. If you look at the worker count, I'm going up to about 80. I'm droning a lot harder than standard zergs would in this matchup, I think. Because I kind of want to have more income, and I don't need to have that much supply into roaches or Mutalisks that kind of eat up supply in battles. My lurker then is finished, so I'm morphing in lurkers. He's getting his +3/+3, he has this expansion, so this is a pretty pretty standard position for a Terran, where he has his 4th base and 3/3 on the way. Now the lurkers are coming into play, so this is where it kind of gets interesting. Lurkers are a really good positional unit, and I want to do more damage to them, so I'm dropping banelings and I'm dropping lurkers. So let's see what's going to happen there. I still have all my queens, so I'm spreading creep, trying to get over here with my creep and over here. I burrow some lurkers so he cannot move through this passage, and I'm burrowing a lurker up here, so he has to defend it with a tank. At the same time I'm dropping lurkers into his main base, and they do a lot of damage. Like, they would do more damage if there were more workers there, but they still cause distraction, and he has to react to them. Over here banelings get dropped, workers killed. I'm not sure how many those were exactly. Probably like 10. And here we see the lurkers going ham on the marines. So much damage being dealt, and he didn't even kill them. Shoots in again, more marines died. At home I'm getting both the Greater Spire and the Ultralisk then. I'm getting my +3 my +3 armor upgrade. I'm taking all the expansions, and I'm just feeling overall pretty good. He scans, I think he sees the... Yeah, I think he saw at least one lurker. I'm sieging this space with more lurkers. I keep on being aggressive. He's trying to take this space. I'm already spreading creep, so I know as soon as he takes it. Now this is a pretty... This would look seem to be a pretty good position if for your average Terran player. Where they have a lot of siege tanks over here, so it's really hard for me to engage, but now we're going to see what happens. I walk in with my lurkers, and a lot of my units exploded. But now his marines walk on top of the lurkers, and the marines all died. He lost so many marines there, and this was not an expensive army for me. I only had a couple of gas units in it. And I kind of wanted to trade everything away so I can now change my very Ling Queen heavy army into an Ultralisk focused army. So this was a good trade for me. And I even managed to kill off a lot of marines, and I simply took a really bad engagement by walking straight into tanks, but it still turned out fine. Because now I will have to deal with the Ultralisks. I still have lurkers that give me a positional advantage. I should have moved this lurker further over here so it can attack that base. So I have a lurker here, so I cannot move through this passage, and he cannot move down here because of these lurkers. Meanwhile, I'm putting drones down here. I have drones here, I have some here, I have some here, I have some here. I have drones everywhere, of course. There's one more drone too many in this gas, and it kind of makes me sad. And another lurker bites the dust. So in this, like this, lurkers are not really good. I don't have the Ultralisk Carapace upgrade, so this fight is kind of stupid for me to take. I shouldn't have fought him here, but I'm so far ahead that it still turns out fine, funnily enough. But this is really a bad fight for me. I should have simply waited for the Ultralisk armor upgrade, and here we see the lurker again. The lurker doing so much damage. Of course, while his units are moving, it's kind of hard for lurkers to hit. Lurkers go in, lurkers burrow. Now the lurkers are in position again. He walks up this path, he walks down this path. Everywhere he goes, lurkers shoot at him. I moved him out of the Liberator space. And all I wanted to do was take out this space, because his third is starting to get low minerals, his natural, his main is not even mining anymore after the lurker drop. So he's really falling apart, and now the Hydralisks come to clean up the Liberators. If I have Hydralisks in the battle, the Liberators will shoot at the Hydralisks and not at the Ultras. Of course, Hydralisks do die in one shot if he has the +1 damage upgrade, which he doesn't. Definitely a misplay by him. And you can see I have, thanks to my 90 workers, I have such a good economy that I can simply remake everything, and I can just keep throwing stuff at him while being safe with spines and spores everywhere. Actually, I didn't put spines and spores at these bases. Even took the gold, I harassed him with drops, and now I'm simply cleaning him up with my Ultralisk Hydralisk force. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it, and there comes the GG. So I'm going to try to give a brief recap of what I did. I went for a pool gas hatch opener into another hatchery. I went for Baneling and Ling drops that did almost nothing. I made a lot of circlings that did nothing because he didn't take his third fast enough. Defended his drop decently, even though I took like 10 drone damage, so I was really in a bad position in the early game. In the mid game, I went for Hydralisks to defend the drops. I then pushed him back with a Queen Hydra Baneling force over here and completely destroyed his army. Kept harassing him with lurkers around this path to make sure he cannot move out. Then I dropped lurkers, I dropped banelings, I kept doing damage to him. Traded my army really badly over here, traded my army once again really badly over here when I had my Ultralisks. But eventually I was just too far ahead and managed to kill him anyways. Even though it looked like I was behind all game long. So, I hope you liked this analysis. If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to subscribe, and see you guys next time.